I certainly remember that Sonja was a state champion in her state of Delaware. And I also remember her talking to me about, she was a lifeguard and she competed as a lifeguard. And I said, what is competing as a lifeguard? And she said, well, we do this 2,000 meter race in the sand. And she said, I'm going to the world championships to compete in this. And I thought, okay, well, it's lifeguarding, but it's competition. It's at a world level. This kid must be pretty special. One of the great things in track and field, I think any coach will tell you, any athlete will tell you, is running relays. It is the total team effort. It's total trust in each other. And Sonja was a huge part of almost every relay we put on the track in her years here. I remember her setting individual records in the 1,000 meter indoor, in the 800 meter outdoor, and numerous times on relay teams. Sonja worked very hard to become a good cross-country runner. It wasn't what she was most comfortable with. She had to work really hard to become successful in cross-country, and she knew it was important for the team, and she knew she had the talent, and she achieved that. Sonja, I hope you remember that you used to tell me you would visualize, which is something all athletes do, that you had an elastic cord attached to you, and that elastic cord would help to pull you along as you were exhausted. I used what you told me with a lot of runners after you were gone. I talked with them about the elastic cord and visualize yourself with an assistance coming from the outside. Well, there is the story about the herring challenge. Sonja and I were talking one day and she said, yeah, my parents are coming to this cross-country meet and I'm excited because they're gonna bring me herring. And I said, I love herring. And I had eaten herring in like a cream sauce, and I said, well, I'll tell you what, Sonja, I'll challenge you to a herring eating contest. And we got up there, and she opened up this herring, which was like nothing I had ever seen. It had the bones, it wasn't in a cream sauce, and it did not look very good. And needless to say, Sonja won the herring eating contest. Sonja Friend-Uhl, I'm sure your parents, your husband, your brother and sister, your two beautiful daughters are as excited as I am to say, welcome to the William & Mary Athletic Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Either I'm laughing still about the herring or tears of joy, but we'll figure it out later. Thank you so much. When I got the email, letting me know that I had been awarded this great honor, it was a surprise because there's so many, as you've heard already tonight, so many wonderful, deserving people throughout the years who have received this this honor. But I was really excited to come home. I'm always excited to come home to Williamsburg and William & Mary. My track sitting right out there. I did a workout there yesterday. It was fantastic. A little slower at this point, but. I think that to me, what has been most important, and I figured it out as we all did probably as we went along, but what William & Mary, just not the academics, the college itself, the whole experience, the camaraderie, I grew so much when I was here as a person. And I think that's one area where student athletes have a little bit of an edge because we are exposed to quite a bit of challenges, sometimes adversity, and we're done, if we start when we're in high school or college, it happens at a young age and we have to figure that out. But the blessing and the silver lining is we get to figure it out together as athletes and with our coaches. So to me, this means that all that elastic cord that Coach Pat is mentioning, I had a tremendous elastic cord. It started with my parents. My mom, Barb, here is here tonight. And I'm emotional, sorry, I'm 48, so go figure. But My parents gave me a great foundation. Basically, my dad's message was, the world is yours, but you've got to work it. You've got to work for it. You've got to earn it. And he instilled that in me. And then with my coaches, Coach Pat took a chance on me. I was a 400, 800 meter specialist, and I'll never forget, we were standing on the steps, was it Ewell Hall at the time? And I gave him a verbal commitment because he said, we have this thing called fall track, so you necessarily don't have to run cross country your freshman year. Sign me up. I'm coming. So, I was 400, 800 meter runner, so 5K is a little long for me at the time. But I learned to love it and learned to grow through it. And I think that, along that support that Coach Pat gave my teammates. So, for example, Megan, she'll always be Megan Holden to me, but she goes by another last name now. But Megan actually she was one that nominated me. So it's a really cool story. She nominated me for this award. She was the person who hosted me on my recruiting trip. And it's kind of funny because I had told her, I was like, I wasn't sure about Women Marry necessarily because I don't want it to be too stuffy. I know it's a great school and academically it's fantastic, but I still want to have a good time in college. And then I spent my overnight with Megan, and sign me up. I'm ready to come. It's fantastic. Paul's Deli all the way. Yay. Randy and Shelby Hawthorne, another part of that elastic cord. I mean, they support the track team. If you don't know Randy and Shelby, you should get to know them. They're a fantastic support of Women Marry and, of course, the track and cross-country teams. Many a night were spent with Randy and Shelby celebration, but also if you got in trouble or you needed help. For example, I got stranded on the Bay Bridge going home one year, and they came to get me, and I stayed the night there until my dad came to pick me up. So thank you for always being there. Two people I need to mention that aren't here, but hopefully you remember their names if you've been a part of Women Marry sports or the community for a while. Coach Stimson and Rosemary is here tonight, and I know he would want her here. And Coach Roy Chernock, they both passed, but fantastic men. I mean, just fantastic human beings who represented what I hope to represent in the work that I do now with coaching and with physical training, and the people that I try to inspire. They were good people who cared about you to their core, but knew how to push you too. They knew when to say, you need to give me more, and they knew when to say that's enough for the day. So that's a very important skill and one that I won't forget. And then my family now, my husband, Brad Uhl, was a fantastic football player here. He graduated in '91. Played for the great Jimmy Laycock. We actually met in the training room my freshman year. He was recovering from an ACL reconstruction injury. I had some kind of injury, but we met and caught each other's eye, and that was it. 18 years old. There's been a couple arguments now and then, but he stuck with me, and he can't get rid of me, so he's here with me tonight. But the wind beneath my wings for sure. I'm glad we could have this experience together and experience the college together. And my two beautiful daughters, Brianna, she's going to be a Gator in the summer, but that's okay. University of Florida is a good school too. She's graduating this next month, going to University of Florida. And my daughter, Alexa, who's 10 years old, and we're signing her up for track for the first time in May, so we'll see how that goes. I see a 400-meter sprinter, but we'll see what happens. Most of all, I think that that elastic cord for me this was one step in the journey, but it had such an impact. And my goal, and I think really what we all strive to do is everything that we've been given, and this is the messages I've heard from everybody who's talked before me tonight, we were given so much, whether it was from our higher power as a gift and our athletic talents, and whether it was from the people that raised us or the people, the coaches and the staff that helped us and supported us here at this college. And I feel that it is our blessing and our obligation to pay it forward as we go through our careers, and that's what I hope to do. Thank you so much.